Today, we would like to share a practical perspective on sustainable water stewardship and why it is becoming a much more important business issue for industrial organizations. In many companies, water is still treated mainly as an operational utility, something required to keep production and site services running. But that view is no longer sufficient. Water now has a direct bearing on compliance confidence, operating resilience, cost performance, and the credibility of a company's sustainability position. What makes the EFC and Honess partnership distinctive is that it brings together two capabilities that clients often struggle to find in one integrated offering. EFC provides the strategic and management side of the equation, helping clients understand risks, priorities, compliance implications, and the business case for action. Honess brings practical industrial wastewater treatment capability, including modular solutions across pretreatment, biological treatment, and advanced treatment stages that can be adapted to real operating environments. So the central message today is straightforward. We help industrial organizations move from reacting to water-related issues to managing water in a more strategic, practical, and confident way. If we step back and look at the broader market, the timing is important. Across the industrial sector, water-related risks are becoming more visible, more material, and more consequential. Management teams are facing tighter compliance expectations, greater scrutiny over effluent quality and operational control, rising water and utility costs, aging treatment infrastructure, and growing pressure to provide credible evidence of sustainability performance. In many high-growth industrial corridors, water stress, supply reliability, tariff exposure, and consumption intensity are also becoming more prominent business concerns. At the same time, many facilities are trying to respond within real operating constraints. Sites often have limited space for expansion, especially in dense industrial estates. Major treatment upgrades can take months to design, build, and stabilize. Internal resources are not always sufficient. Capital must compete with other priorities, and many businesses cannot tolerate prolonged shutdowns or extended periods of performance uncertainty during transition. This is why water can no longer be treated as only a technical or utility issue. It is increasingly a management issue. When discharge performance becomes inconsistent, when treatment systems consume excessive chemicals, energy, and operating attention, when reuse potential is not well understood, or when disclosure lacks substance, the consequences do not stay within the plant. They begin to affect cost performance, operational confidence, resilience, stakeholder trust, and in some cases license to operate. Water now demands management attention because the underlying question has changed. It is no longer only about fixing an isolated treatment problem. It is about building a more resilient, better governed, and more future-ready water pathway for the business. In that sense, water risk is now business risk. In practice, water projects often stall not because the problem is invisible, but because two different gaps exist at the same time. The first is the strategic gap. Management knows water is becoming more important, but priorities are not yet clear. The business case may be fragmented, the sequencing of action may be uncertain, and there may be limited clarity on what should be addressed first across compliance, resilience, efficiency, and reuse. The second is the practical gap. Even where the need for action is clear, implementation can still slow down because of tight site conditions, technical uncertainty, procurement complexity, permitting questions, or lack of confidence in which treatment pathway is actually suitable. This is why many water initiatives remain stuck between awareness and execution. Clients do not just need technology, they also need decision clarity. At the same time, they do not just need high-level advisory. They need confidence that the chosen pathway can be implemented in a practical and site-appropriate manner, whether that involves pretreatment improvements, biological treatment enhancement, advanced polishing, reuse integration, or modular system deployment. That is the gap this partnership is designed to address. This is where the partnership between EFC and Honess becomes highly relevant. In our experience, many industrial organizations are caught between the need for strategic clarity and the need for practical execution confidence. They understand that water is becoming more material to the business, but they are not always clear on where the most important risks and opportunities sit, how to prioritize action, or how to shape an investment case that management can support. At the same time, even once direction is set, implementation can still be slowed by footprint constraints, technical uncertainty, procurement complexity, and concerns about site fit. EFC helps address the first part of that challenge. We support clients define the right direction before major investment decisions are made. That includes understanding water risk, catchment context, compliance and permitting implications, stewardship priorities, efficiency and reuse opportunities, governance needs, and disclosure expectations. In simple terms, we help turn complex water issues into clear priorities, actionable pathways, and decision points that management can evaluate with confidence. Honess helps address the second part. Honess provides broader industrial wastewater treatment capability across pretreatment, biological treatment, and advanced treatment solutions, delivered through practical modular configurations suited to real site conditions. This means the client is not limited to a single technology pathway. Instead, the treatment approach can be shaped around actual wastewater characteristics, compliance objectives, reuse ambition, site footprint, and implementation constraints. This combination is important because many industrial organizations need both strategic clarity and practical execution confidence. It is not enough to know that water matters. The business also needs a workable path forward that fits site realities and can be implemented efficiently. So together, we are not only advising on what to do and not only supplying treatment technology. We are connecting advisory clarity with treatment capability so clients can move from water challenge to practical action with greater speed, confidence, and realism. Our engagement model is intentionally structured because water-related decisions in industrial organizations are most effective when they are built on a disciplined, practical, and evidence-based process. We begin with gather and understand, where we work with the organization to assess water risk, catchment context, compliance obligations, operational pressures, and improvement opportunities across the site. This gives management a clear, evidence-based view of the organization's starting position and the issues that matter most. We then move to prioritize and plan. At this stage, we help the organization identify its most important water stewardship priorities, develop a credible business case, and shape an action plan that is realistic for the site, aligned with operational needs, and supportable by management. Next, we define the solution by translating those priorities into fit-for-purpose solution pathways, performance targets, deployment plans, and permitting support where needed. The focus is to ensure that the selected pathway is technically sound, operationally workable, and commercially credible. From there, we deliver and implement by supporting the organization in putting the agreed measures into practice through operational controls, governance measures, reuse initiatives, and treatment or modular solutions as appropriate. After implementation, we verify and improve by helping the organization assess performance against objectives through monitoring, review, and learning, so that outcomes remain evidence-based, sustainable, and capable of continuous improvement over time. Finally, we support the organization to govern and disclose. This is where accountability, performance tracking, management review, and credible disclosure come together, so that water performance is not only improved, but also properly governed and communicated with confidence. In simple terms, this pathway helps an industrial organization move from understanding its water challenges to making sound management decisions to delivering measurable and lasting water performance. The first service area is water stewardship and disclosure support. This is designed for manufacturers, industrial operators, listed companies, and multinational sites that are facing growing water-related pressure from customers, investors, lenders, supply chain partners, and internal sustainability teams. In many cases, organizations already have some form of reporting, but they still need a clearer understanding of where water matters most, what the key risks and dependencies are, and what practical improvements should come next. Our approach is to treat water not only as a disclosure topic, but as a stewardship and management issue. We help clients understand water use, site-level dependencies, operational risk, catchment context, and improvement priorities in a way that is practical, evidence-based, and grounded in operational reality. This support can start with an Alliance for Water Stewardship, or AWS, Standard Version 3.0 Readiness and Gap Assessment, which helps establish the baseline, identify stewardship gaps, and clarify priority actions. From there, we support stronger management system development through ISO 46001 water efficiency management systems, including action planning, monitoring, governance, and continual improvement. We also help organizations strengthen disclosure quality. This includes support for Carbon Disclosure Project, or CDP, water security responses, as well as Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, 303 water and effluents reporting. The objective is not just to produce a report, but to build disclosure that reflects real operational understanding, measurable performance, and a credible management response. Overall, our role is to help organizations convert water stewardship intent into clear insight, practical priorities, and a credible framework for action. The second service area is water efficiency diagnostic and reuse feasibility study. This is particularly relevant for industrial facilities with high water demand, tariff exposure, reuse ambitions, process recovery potential, or longer-term water resilience concerns. In many cases, the best water project starts before equipment selection, with a clear understanding of where water is used, where value is lost, and where recovery or reuse is genuinely viable. We typically begin with a site water balance and diagnostic audit. This helps map the major water flows across the facility, quantify usage, identify losses and inefficiencies, and highlight where reuse, recovery, or treatment opportunities may exist. It is the first step in turning water data into a clear picture of opportunity. Once that baseline is established, we help clients prioritize water efficiency opportunities based on technical practicality, savings potential, operational impact, implementation effort, and likely business value. This allows decision making to focus on the options that are both realistic and meaningful. Where reuse or recycle is being considered, we then assess technical and commercial feasibility. This includes looking at water quality requirements, treatment needs, fit for intended end use, recovery potential, and the strength of the business case. For selected sites, this can also extend to a staged pathway toward deeper recycle or zero liquid discharge, including segregation, primary separation, clarification, concentration, and downstream treatment considerations. Overall, the aim is to help clients make practical, value-driven decisions that reduce water demand, improve resilience, and support a more circular operating model. The third service area is wastewater compliance and upgrade planning. This is often where pressure is felt most directly. Many wastewater systems do not fail suddenly. Instead, pressure builds over time through unstable performance, aging equipment, increased operator intervention, rising maintenance burden, changing wastewater characteristics, or tighter compliance expectations. In some cases, management already knows the current system is no longer optimal, but the best forward pathway has not yet been defined. That is why we focus on roadmap thinking rather than only troubleshooting. We assess current performance, identify the key risks and constraints, and help compare realistic upgrade options. That comparison is not limited to treatment performance alone. It also considers footprint, timing, constructability, operational disruption, compliance confidence, and longer-term site suitability. Honess value here is broader than a single treatment product. Depending on site needs, the upgrade pathway may include modular pretreatment systems, biological treatment solutions, advanced treatment units, or integrated treatment trains configured for the wastewater characteristics and compliance objective. The case study shown on this slide is important because it demonstrates what practical implementation can look like in a real operating context. In a multinational elevator manufacturing setting, upgrading wastewater treatment supported a recycling rate of more than 70% and enabled water reuse for landscape replenishment, toilet flushing, and irrigation. This is not just a technical improvement. It shows how the right treatment pathway can also contribute to stronger water efficiency and broader sustainability performance. For management, the broader message is that a wastewater upgrade should not be framed only as a compliance response. It can also be part of a more strategic pathway toward resilience, efficiency, and better resource stewardship. The fourth service area is modular deployment and implementation, which create practical flexibility once the right pathway has been defined. One of the common barriers to water and wastewater improvement is that conventional projects can be slow, disruptive, and difficult to execute in space-constrained industrial environments. That is why modular delivery can be very powerful. It allows treatment capacity to be added, restored, or established more quickly and with less disruption than traditional site-built approaches in suitable applications. Importantly, modular deployment is not limited to one technology. It can support a broader treatment architecture across pretreatment, biological treatment, and advanced treatment stages, depending on what the site actually requires. This gives clients more flexibility to match the solution to the problem rather than forcing the problem into a single standard configuration. The three deployment situations shown here are especially relevant. The first is capacity expansion, where sites need to increase treatment capability without major interruption to existing operations. The second is emergency retrofit, where rapid response is needed because of system failure, performance instability, or urgent compliance pressure. The third is new build delivery, where standardized modular systems can shorten implementation timelines for new industrial facilities or parks. The case study on this slide illustrates the point clearly. Following a primary clarifier failure at an industrial park wastewater treatment plant, the system was mobilized and brought into operation within 3 days. In a context where land availability was constrained and rapid recovery mattered, that kind of deployment speed created real management value. So this is not only about modularity as an engineering concept. It is about giving clients a more agile implementation route when time, space, and operational continuity matter. To bring everything together, the core message is this. Water is no longer just a utility issue or a treatment issue. For industrial organizations, it is becoming a strategic business issue linked to resilience, compliance confidence, cost performance, sustainability credibility, and long-term value creation. Within that challenge, however, there is also a significant opportunity. Organizations that take a more structured and practical approach to water can strengthen compliance confidence, improve operational performance, identify reuse and efficiency gains, and build a sustainability narrative that is supported by real operational action. That is what EFC and Honess aim to deliver together. We combine strategic clarity with practical industrial wastewater treatment capability across pretreatment, biological treatment, and advanced treatment solutions, delivered through a modular and implementation-focused model. The overall value to clients lies in having a treatment pathway shaped around actual business and site needs. Thank you again for your time. We would welcome the opportunity to discuss where the most important water risks and opportunities may sit within your business, and how the right pathway can be shaped in a way that is practical, credible, and commercially relevant.